ArsenalFanTV mode, disappointing tonight. I mean, you know, I haven't found anybody who's been able to put any sort of positive spin on what went down tonight. I mean, it's just a poor performance.
It was appalling. And listen, when we're talking about this performance, and we're talking about the whole 90 minutes, but really we're talking about the 45, because the second half we did fight, but I'm sick of talking about fight and heroic halves in 90-minute defeats. I'm sick of doing that. Even Bournemouth, a heroic draw. Champions do not talk about heroic draws. Champions do not talk about heroic defeats. And this is exactly why we're not going to be champions.
What went wrong tonight?
Listen, look, you know, I hear a lot of people trying to apportion blame to, you know, Arsene Wenger or however they want to like portray their agendas tonight. The fact of the matter is, right, tonight, blame has to be shared across the whole spectrum. Starting from Arsene Wenger with the lineup that I wouldn't have selected, but at least I'll give him a bit of grace in that he had to select a lineup with the Saturday lineup in mind as well. So, you know, any questions we've got about that, he's obviously got a plan. I don't agree with it necessarily, but that would answer some of my questions about the lineup. So Arsene Wenger's culpable. He's to blame. The team, every single one of them is to blame because they all let each other down and they all let us fans down today. It was appalling. That first half, honestly, was one of the worst first halves I've ever seen any Arsenal team ever play since I've been watching the club. Seriously, not just at this stadium, just as long as I can remember, that was one of the worst first halves. We looked scared of our own shadows in that first half. No fight, no battle, no courage, nothing. It was disgusting. It was absolutely appalling. I haven't got the vocabulary to stress how bad that was. If that half was a politician, it's Donald Trump. I don't know whether I can do any more than that to explain you how disgusting that was. So there we go. We've got Wenger and the team to blame. And then the fans. Last week I was saying our away fans are the best in the land, and I stand by that. But our home fans, my God, we're in the relegation zone. At 2-0 down, when I looked across my row, I saw about 8 empty seats that gradually got filled up after about the 25-minute mark. What on earth are you doing turning up after 20-25 minutes of a game? If we're not going to do our bit as fans, if we're not going to get there on time, make it a hostile atmosphere, and actually put some pressure on the referee, the pressure on the other team, that's all we can do. I mean, look, do you come here as if it's a theatre and just watch it with no real emotional investment in the result? Or do you come here with this ability, with this belief that you can try and change a result or have a bearing on the result? Because if you don't think that, just watch it on TV. They call us the 12th man for a reason. Players continually come out and say fans make a difference. You ask any footballer and they tell you fans can make a difference. So make the difference. Don't turn up after 25 minutes. I understand it's a work night. I get that. But I'm sorry, the proportion of people that weren't there after 25 minutes, don't kid me with, I was at work. Don't kid me with that excuse. I was at work. If it means that I wake up a bit earlier tomorrow and go in at 6 a.m. instead of 8 a.m, I'll do that if needs be. Get to the game on time. Make a hostile atmosphere. Back your team. And then not only that, the fourth party to blame here are the goddamn club that do not listen to the fans when we say we want a singing section, when we say do something about this problem. If you need to invest in the infrastructure to reward fans that turn up on time and offer a penalty to those fans who arrive 15 minutes late, who leave 15 minutes early, invest in that goddamn infrastructure. We've got the money to do it, so do it. It's not that hard. I'm sure the technology exists to say if you tap in, if you swipe in at a certain time, you don't get a home loyalty point. I have sat there in front of the top brass of this club in person and said, implement a home loyalty scheme. Do it. And reward fans that turn up before the first whistle and leave after the final whistle. When you do that and you create a singing section, hopefully halves like that, days like today, will be less and less common. And the other thing I want to say as well, I wrote this on Twitter. If you are going to apply stupidity consistently. Do not praise Steve Bold for a 5-0 win and then criticise Arsene Wenger for a 2-1 defeat. You cannot have one manager for victories and one manager for defeats. Take your agenda and shove it up the Arsenal, because this is it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. It's not fickle. It's stupid to do that. And what I've said in the past as well about this team, you cannot coach fight. And this team in the first half had zero fight, zero character. Something needs to be done about it. I'm not a manager. I don't know what needs to be done. But honestly, look, if you put me on the spot right now and said, what the hell would you do about this? I'd be going in and getting a sports psychologist, the best in the world, to have a chat with some of these players, because there is something wrong at our club. And when that opportunity came last season to hold up a piece of paper, as pathetic as that might sound, and say time for change, that did not mean that you are saying what the change needs to be. It doesn't mean that you were saying it should be Arsene Wenger. Whatever that change needed to be, it's pretty bloody evident, because this is a very recurring thing. We need some change somewhere. Whether that's the singing section, whether that's investing in the infrastructure to promote a hostile atmosphere, whether that's the manager, whether that's bringing David Dean back, whatever the hell that is, we need some change. So why come here and complain and sing about wanting Arsene Wenger out or slating Ramsey or whatever your agendas are? Why do that and then not join in with a constructive message to the top brass at this club? That's what winds me up. Look, I said to you earlier on the season, Arsenal are not going to win the league because the two games, United, Tottenham, we drew them both, and then Everton, Man City, we lost them both back-to-back. Those games told me everything I need to know about the character of this team. And now today, Watford at home, and Chelsea have got Liverpool away. This was our day to put some pressure on them and make it count. All we had to do was win our game. If Chelsea go and get a result against Liverpool, nothing we can do, but we've done our job. We didn't do our job, and nor did Chelsea. Liverpool kept up their side of the bargain. They took points away from Chelsea, and we've thrown it away. How on earth we can lose to Watford on a day when we should have been eating into that lead, and Chelsea have still managed to gain ground on us? It's an absolute farce. The only redemption, and it's not full redemption because you can't undo this and this should never have happened, but the only redemption now is victory at Chelsea on Saturday. And then it's 6 points, and even then I don't believe we're going to win the title. But if we go and demolish Chelsea, at least we can see what happens. But do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. Do I think we're going to win the league? Absolutely not. Today was appalling, and for that first half, I'm embarrassed. It was an embarrassment.